Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official NFL Week number 14 picks and predictions, where I predict the final score of every NFL game. I believe we're done with buys. It is Week 14, you'd think. I thought the cutoff was Week 13. I don't know, either way, we do have the Thursday night game. Oh my goodness. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off their weird loss that included a delay to Arizona. Now, I predicted that. Now they're at home. They're taking on the Patriots. The Patriots, they got to finish the season 2-15. We don't know who they're going to be starting. They bench. What has Mac Jones been benched 4 times now? He's going for the all-time record. Maybe he'll be starting this game. I guess if he starts, there's probably a 50-50 chance he gets benched. They're 2-10. You know, whether it's Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, it's going to be really ugly. The Steelers sitting -6. I do like Bill Belichick and the Patriots to cover. Kenny Pickett, injured, not playing. Mitch Trubisky now in. Seems like the under is a lock in this game, especially if the over-under's into the 30s. These teams are just not going to produce points. I do like the value, though, on the Patriots. They lost 6-0. What a horrible beat that was for me last week. You've got the Chargers -6. They win 6-0. They shut a team out. They can't cover a 6-point spread. I ended up pushing on it. It's crazy, but I will take Bill Belichick to cover the +6. They'll lose to a Steelers team that always plays close games, coming off a terrible loss at home themselves. Moving on to some 1 o'clock games, we do have the Jaguars traveling into cold weather into Cleveland. The Browns coming off of 2 losses. The score was not indicative of how the Browns played. Those were close games. They got blown out late. The score makes it look a lot worse in both of them, although I was in on the Rams to cover against the Browns last week, and they did. I do like the Browns in an upset. Joe Flacco played well enough for me. They're going to be at home. They've got the crowd. They've got the cold. You've got a Jaguars team. They're going to fold. This is a very hard spot for them going on the road against an elite defense, possibly the best defense, even if Denzel Ward is out. Myles Garrett, that Browns team, they're going to feast at home. The Jaguars, still a good team, no doubt. They're going to the playoffs, but they will lose that game. Another low-scoring game. Although, honestly, seems like 37 total points. That's the threshold now in the NFL. There's basically every game is low-scoring. Next, it is the Buccaneers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta sitting -2.5. Tampa Bay actually favored in terms of the analytics, 51% chance. They're at 5-7 right now. They're just floundering, Tampa Bay. I mean, what is their future? They're not going to get a high enough draft pick to draft a franchise QB. Maybe they'll draft someone like Jaden Daniels mid-first round. I don't know. I like Atlanta in this game. They were able to cover against the Jets, although it was a very sloppy game. I have them winning this one 24-21. So I guess covering the 2.5-point spread, but it's going to be really close. They are at home in that one. Next, we do have Indianapolis traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. 7-5 versus 5-7. Backup quarterback versus backup quarterback. Indianapolis, slight 2.5-point favorites. And you know what? When it comes to a game like this, just like Babe Ruth, I'm calling my shot. I'm calling the first tie of the NFL season. I have not predicted a tie yet. I got a feel for this game. It's a weird one. It's 2 very average teams. Cincinnati is average because their starting quarterback is out. Indianapolis is just, in general, a pretty average team, even though they are 7-5 fighting for the playoffs. I can smell something. I can smell a tie in this game. 20-20, the final score. I guess, you know, you could say Cincinnati would be covering the 2.5-point spread there. Next, we do have Houston traveling to East Rutherford to take on the Jets in MetLife Stadium. I wonder what the weather will be for this game. Normally, it's always bad this time of year at MetLife. You do have Houston sitting -6.5. C.J. Stroud, possibly a concussion scare, but considering they're 6.5-point favorites, we'd imagine he would be perfectly fine to play in this game. Tank Dell out for the year, but I still do like Houston. 7-5. They beat Denver. I thought they would blow out Denver, but they still covered that 4-point spread or whatever it was. I have them covering a 6.5-point spread. What is going on with the Jets? Now you've got Zach Wilson saying he doesn't want to play. Does Zach Wilson really have a choice? I mean, like, Zach Wilson is 1 interception away from being out of the NFL. And he's saying, oh, I don't want, I'm worried about getting injured. Dude, you're going to be worried about not being on a practice squad next year. Apparently, he doesn't want to play because Aaron Rodgers has been talking to him. Like, that is the least of your worries. Absolutely, you should want to play. Obviously, it's a terrible situation. Whether it's Zach Wilson or anyone else, the Jets have a horrible offense. Ever since Aaron Rodgers got hurt on like the third snap of the game, I will take Houston to cover, even with the Jets' good defense. This is what I did last week. I took the Jets plus the 3 because I trusted their defense. Their defense played well, but the offense is so inept, they end up not covering. So it's unfortunate, and I'm done with it. Next, we do have an NFC-AFC battle. It is the Rams traveling East Coast. They're playing in a rare 1 o'clock game against Baltimore. Now, Baltimore coming off a bye. After their Monday night performance against the Chargers, they won that game, kind of a lower scoring game. The Rams coming off a very impressive 36-point showing at home against the Browns. They did score 2 touchdowns late in that game. I like Baltimore to win this game relatively easily. It's a great spot for them. Well rested at home. Colder weather for the Rams, traveling West Coast to East Coast, and they don't have that built-in extra rest advantage. And they've got the travel issue. Baltimore should win this game relatively comfortably. I like them covering the 7-point spread. Next, we do have the Detroit Lions traveling to Chicago. The Bears believe they're coming off a bye week. They did have a win on Monday Night Football. It was a field goal fest against Minnesota. Justin Fields right now battling for his future in the NFL. There's some talk that the Bears might stick with Fields. He's looked better and better. Certainly, you know what? I would like to see Justin Fields on the Cleveland Browns. Maybe a trade Deshaun Watson for Justin Fields. That would be really good for the Browns. You take a look at this Detroit team, 9-3. Kind of a wobbler there against New Orleans. They let up a lot of points, a lot of yards. I had them covering that spread. They barely did. But you know what? They're still 9-3. In a game like this, I do think Chicago being at home, they win this one outright. We saw these two teams face off a few weeks ago. I said, listen, Justin Fields, the Chicago team, they're going to cover the spread. They did just that, and they're going to cover another spread and actually win this game outright against a Detroit team that has a faulty defense. Let's just be honest about it. Next, we do have Carolina traveling to the Superdome to take on the Saints. The Saints, a very streaky team. They're sitting at 5-7 right now. I guess I forgot the parentheses there. I apologize for that. And you do have the Panthers at 1-11. What a weird record that is, 1-11. Very bad. Unfortunately for the Panthers, they don't own their first-round pick now. It is interesting with Carolina. I liked them plus the 5 last week against Tampa. I actually had them winning outright, but at least they covered the 5-point spread. I think they cover another one. This is going to be a very close game. Bryce Young slowly but surely is growing. He's getting better. There's a lot of narratives going around. 5.5, you know, this New Orleans team, they're very streaky. They give up a lot of yards, a lot of points, especially recently. I think this is a close game, surprisingly. I do think the Saints end up winning, though, by 1 point. Next, now we're on to the 4 o'clock games. You have 2 4:05 games and 2 4:25 games. This one is pretty irrelevant here, but, I mean, it's 6-6 versus 5-7. It is Josh Dobbs coming off the bye week, getting Justin Jefferson back, you would think, going to Vegas, and I absolutely love Vegas at home in this spot. Vegas at home with their interim head coach. They're a glitch. I know they lost to the Chiefs, you know, a few weeks ago, but they're a very good team at home. Josh Jacobs, Aiden O'Connell, the young quarterback, the rookie, and you're facing a team like Minnesota, Josh Dobbs, the Cinderella run. It's pretty much over. I know the narrative's going to be, oh, look at Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, all the weapons. I get it, but I'm still taking the Raiders with the value plus the 3 in this game to win it outright. 6-6 versus 5-7. The Raiders still in the hunt for a potential wild card spot. The other 4:05 game, it's a divisional matchup. It is the Seahawks traveling to take on the 49ers. San Francisco sitting minus 10.5. And I do think 10.5 is just a little bit too much. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of people love San Francisco right now. I loved them last week. I had them winning and covering the 2.5-point spread in Philadelphia, and they did just that. But now I'm actually going off of them, and I'm fading them because, again, 10.5 is too much against the Seahawks team. You know, this could be a backdoor cover. I'm smelling something like a backdoor cover where it's 31-17. Geno throws a late touchdown. Maybe to JSN, it ends 31-24. Again, 10.5 for a divisional game. I will take Seattle to cover, but obviously San Francisco, very good. They're a powerhouse right now after that blowout win in Philadelphia. Now we have the well, I guess this isn't prime time. This is the big time 425 game. It is Kansas City hosting Buffalo. They are at Arrowhead. Kansas City sitting -2.5, coming off that loss in Lambeau. They're just 8-4 right now. They're taking out a Bills team. They need this win desperately at 6-6. And how about this? The analytics, once again, they like Buffalo as a favorite. And I like Buffalo to come out. You know, they've got an extended rest. They're going to come out and they're going to win this game in Arrowhead. I can feel it. This is a Buffalo team. They're underrated. They've had crazy bad luck. If you look at their point differential, they're like plus 100. It is inexplicable. They're 6-6. And it's really going to self-correct itself, and that's going to start this week. Buffalo wins this game 32-21. Kansas City, they'll still make the playoffs. They're fine. This is not their year. Okay, let's just call it what it is. You lose to Jordan Love. Give me Buffalo outright or plus the 2.5 there. The analytics back me on that. The other 425 game is Denver traveling to SoFi Stadium to take on the Chargers. The Chargers sitting -2.5. The Chargers got a win last week. They're sitting 5-7. Denver coming off a loss at 6-6. I love the Chargers in this game. It's going to be a weird score. It's going to be lower scoring, but give me LAC to cover that 2.5 point spread. Only scoring 6 points last week. It is what it is. I mean, it's in New England. It's colder weather. They're coming back home. They're facing a worse defense. They'll score a little bit more. They will win this game. They will cover, but it'll be kind of a weird game, peculiar. They end up winning there. Moving on to the Sunday night game. Wow, what a heavyweight matchup. Interdivision. It is the 10-2 Philadelphia Eagles traveling to take on the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium, the Super Stadium. Dallas is -3.5. This should be a really good game. I do have Dallas winning this one, 28-24. I don't know how you can bet against Dallas right now with the way they're playing at home. I like them on the money line with the value, 3.5. I think they cover it, obviously, just barely. But this is going to be a really good game. I think Dak Prescott right now should win the MVP. You know, you have Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts leading it. I'm just not buying that. I'm sorry. Dak Prescott is playing extremely well now. If Dak struggles here, certainly he's going to fall back a little bit, but he's been playing crazy good football. This is a huge game, though, for the Cowboys because they tend to really struggle against elite teams. We'll see if they can come back against the Eagles and win this one at home. I think they do. Last year, these two teams, they had a crazy game at AT&T Stadium. High scoring, should be really fun. This game actually might end 34-31 or something like that. It's going to be really, really good. And then how about this? We have 2 Monday night games. So 2 Monday night games, both starting at 8:15. And I actually like that the NFL is doing this. It's something different. Both of these games are not very good, but at least there's 2 different ones going on at the same time. It is Green Bay traveling. Oh my goodness, we got another game at MetLife. We just can't get enough of MetLife Stadium, I guess. How about this? The Giants, who are sitting at 4-8. I mean, the Giants have got to lose these games. This is crazy. Green Bay -6.5 point favorites. Jordan Love trying to build on something. I think they win and cover easily against a depleted Giants team. The Giants, you've got to start tanking, guys. Come on. You can't roll out Daniel Jones next year. It's just ridiculous. It's coaching malpractice is what it is. You got to lose these games. And I think Green Bay, the narrative surrounding Jordan Love, it's improving week by week. The huge win at home. They've got momentum now. They've got a solid defense against a bad Giants offense. Going to be a close game in the first half, but they will pull away, and they will cover that 6.5 point spread. 73% chance to win on the road is no joke in the NFL. They are clear favorites in that game. And then the other 8:15 game, it is Miami hosting Will Levis, the rookie quarterback, in Tennessee. Miami sitting -13.5, 85% chance to win. They're a powerhouse on offense right now. Tyreek Hill, he's good for 150 yards basically every week. I do think they win this game, and I think they cover. I mean, it's hard to not predict them to score at least 30 points right now, especially against a Tennessee team that has been susceptible to giving up some points, just like last week against Gardner Minshew. I think the Dolphins cover in this one. This is the game I would watch over the other one. This is kind of a fun matchup. I don't know. I kind of like the matchup. Will Levis going to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Big underdog. Probably going to be a higher scoring game. Probably going to be a blowout, but could be a little bit entertaining. Either way, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on X. Link to that's always in the description.